Hello, dear students. Let's become smarter every day with science. Today, we will discuss the chapter Matter in Our Surrounding, Class Ninth, Part 2. In Part 1, we have studied about matter. Matter is something which occupies space and have mass. We have studied the physical nature of matter as matter is made up of particles and these particles are very small in size. The characteristics of particles of matter were they are continuously moving. They do have some space between them, the particles, and these particles attract each other. There are two types of classification, chemical and physical classification. We have studied the physical classification of matter as solid, liquid and gas. We have studied all these three states of matter in detail. Now, in today's lecture, we will discuss that how these three states of matter can be interchanged from one state to another. So, let us come towards the main topic which we are going to cover in this lecture today. The first topic is interconversion of states of matter by changing temperature and pressure, evaporation, factors affecting evaporation, latent heat, and the three temperature scales. The first topic is interconversion of three states of matter. This can be done by changing the pressure or the temperature. What we know about the particles of matter that they are having some space between them, they attract each other and they are continuously moving. That means they possess some kinetic energy also. So if we will change the pressure or the temperature, there will be some difference in the kinetic energy of the molecules. And when we are talking about the force of attraction, that is the intermolecular force, if the intermolecular force of attraction is very strong, that means that is the case of solid, which we have studied in solid. If you will talk about the atomic structure of solid, liquid and gas, all they are having different atomic structure, as the intermolecular force of attraction in case of solid is very high as compared to liquid, and the intermolecular force of attraction in liquid is higher as compared to that of gases. That means if intermolecular force of attraction between the particle increases, that means we are moving from gas to liquid, liquid to solid. On the same way, if the intermolecular force of attraction between the particles of matter decreases, their intermolecular force is decreasing, that means the particles will get far apart from each other. So we are like moving from solid to liquid, liquid to gas if the particles are moving apart, and if they are coming closer, that means strong intermolecular force. That means whole story or whole topic is depend on the intermolecular force of attraction. So first is the by changing the pressure. So by changing the pressure we can get the interconversions. For example, when we are talking about gases, the molecules of gases are far apart from each other. If we will apply pressure on these molecules, what will happen? These molecules will come closer to each other, thus resulting in a strong intermolecular force of attraction. So we can say that by increasing the pressure, the gas can be converted to liquids, and if further pressure is being exerted on the water molecules or the liquid molecules, they will get converted to solid. On the other hand, if we will decrease the pressure, liquid will be converted to gas. For example, when we are talking about LPG gas cylinders, the petroleum gas is being applied, a very lot amount of pressure is being applied and that is converted to liquid, but as we switch on the gas, that time pressure is decreasing, so only gas comes out. Now next one is by changing the temperature. So by changing the temperature, that means we are providing heat, or we are taking heat, or we are freezing or cooling is being done. If we are talk about solids, the strong intermolecular force of attraction is there, and as we will give or we will provide heat to solids, what will happen? The particles of solid will acquire some kinetic energy. There will be a, as with the heat there will be increase in the kinetic energy also, and as the particles will gain some kinetic energy, they will move apart from each other. That means weak intermolecular force of attraction, and as they will move apart from each other, they can be easily converted to liquid. And if further temperature is being provided, further heating is being done, the liquids get converted to gases. Same way, if we are if cooling is being done, that time what will happen, the kinetic energy of the particles will decrease. As the kinetic energy of the particles will decrease, they will come closer to each other, and thus will gas will converted to liquid and liquid to gases. So if we'll talk about various process, for example, melting is there. Melting, that means when a substance melt, a solid substance when melt, it is called melting. A solid can be easily converted into its liquid form when it reach to its melting point, and for this heat is required. Same way, when liquid is being heated, that time after reaching its boiling point, the water or any other liquid substance it gets converted to its gaseous form. So if we are talking about the example of this process, when we are talking about sublimation, it is direct conversion of a solid into its gaseous form. We can take the example of camphor at our home. We can take the example of dry ice. Dry ice directly convert to its gaseous form. And when we are talking about condensation, condensation is a simple process in which water vapor get converts to liquid. And when we are talking about boiling, the temperature at which conversion of liquid on heating takes place at standard atmospheric pressure is called the boiling point. For boiling something, it is compulsory that the substance should reach up to its boiling point. When it will reach up to its boiling point, then only it can be converted to its gaseous form. The three states of matter are found in our nature also. For example, if we'll talk about hailstones, snow, they are the solid form of water. And when we are talking about rainwater, it is the liquid form. And when we will talk about clouds and fog, they are the gaseous form. That means in nature also we can see the three states of water, the three states of matter. Now, various uses of these interconversions with examples are here. By changing pressure, we can convert gases to liquid, gases to liquid to solid, gases to directly solid also. And by changing temperature also we can do these conversions. If we'll talk about various example, for first example is the LPG cylinder which we use at our home, that is liquid petroleum gas. That means the petroleum gas, by pressurizing it, is converted to its liquid form and it is used at home. While we switch on the gas, that time the gas doesn't come out in its liquid form. Why? Because that time the pressure is decreasing. If we will increase the pressure, we are going from gaseous to liquid form. If we will decrease the pressure, the liquid will get converted to its gaseous form. Next is when we are talking about various perfumes, deodorants and oxygen cylinder, they all are the case in which these gases, by applying strong or by applying very high pressure, they are converted to its liquid form and are being used. When we are talking about changing temperature, if we will decrease the temperature, then ice will form. That means water will get converted, liquids will get converted to its solid form. On the other hand, if we will increase the temperature, liquids will convert to its vapor form. Boiling is the best example. Next is evaporation. Evaporation here is an important topic. We all know about evaporation. Water cycle we have studied. Water from the earth's surface get evaporate and forms clouds. After precipitation and condensation, we get rain. Evaporation is a process in which liquid get converted to its gaseous form even without reaching up to its boiling point. Example is water cycle. The formation of vapors or clouds, fog from liquid that is all evaporation. We generally have some questions like what is the difference between this, you can get in your exams also, what is the difference between boiling and evaporation. So boiling need boiling point, that means it need external temperature to be provided to the liquid substance. If the liquid substance will reach up to its boiling point, it can easily be converted to its gaseous state. On the other hand, when we are talking about evaporation, there is no need of any external temperature provided. Boiling is a bulk phenomena and evaporation is a surface phenomena. When we are talking about boiling, since we are providing the temperature, so the boiling will start, or the vaporization will start from the bulk of the substance or liquid substance. On the other hand, when we are talking about evaporation, for evaporation it is a surface phenomena. By surface by surface, water will get evaporate and it will form, or it will convert to its gaseous form. So if no external temperature is being provided, then how does liquid is getting converted to its gaseous state? So for this, all liquid substance, what they used to do, they used to take the heat from the surrounding, but this heat they just take to overcome the intermolecular force of attraction. There is no any rise in the temperature. For example, when we are talking about water kept in an earthen pot is normally cooler as compared to the water kept in a normal container. Same way, when we are talking about removing nail paint, for that we use acetone, that is nail paint remover. That acetone is a volatile liquid, it get evaporate very fast and thus causes cooling. So evaporation causes cooling. And what is the reason? Because for evaporation, no any external heat is or external temperature is provided to the liquid substance, so it will take heat from the surrounding. As we are applying acetone in our hand, what will it do? It will take heat from our body, that means from its surrounding it is taking heat, that means from our body. Same way, when we are talking about earthen pot, it is having small holes from which easily the water can seep out and it gets evaporate, and for evaporation it takes heat from the water itself, thus make water cool because it is taking the heat from that. So evaporation causes cooling, and what this heat is called, it is known as latent heat. So when evaporation happens, that time it takes up heat from our body or from its surrounding. Whatever liquid is there, the liquid will take up heat from its surrounding and thus make the surrounding cool, and this type of heat is known as latent heat. It is usually termed as hidden heat because it never shows any rise in the temperature of the substance, as this heat is only used to overcome the intermolecular force of attraction. If for example, when solid substance is there, that is ice, what will happen if we will keep it outside for certain time, at 0 degrees Celsius only it will completely turn into its liquid form. That time this latent heat will be used to overcome the strong intermolecular force present in the solid form of water, and thus it will convert solid to liquid. Same way, for conversion of liquid to vapor, that time also this latent heat, which is termed as latent heat of vaporization, that time this latent heat will be used to overcome the intermolecular force of attraction. The molecules will get apart from each other and thus they will be converted to its gaseous form. The next topic is factors affecting evaporation. When we are talking about various factors which affect evaporation, so first factor is temperature. If higher the temperature, higher will be the rate of evaporation. Next is surface area and wind speed and humidity. And temperature, surface area, wind speed, these are directly proportional to the rate of evaporation. As when you will increase the temperature, when you will increase the surface area or wind speed, that time what will happen, the rate of evaporation will increase. On the other hand, if high humidity is there, that means there will be a decrease in the rate of evaporation. If less humidity is there, there will be increase in the rate of evaporation. For example, when we are talking about increasing temperature, we can take the example of boiling water. Boiling water is also vaporization, and normal evaporation outside in our nature, that is also evaporation. But which process takes up uh, which process takes less time? We all know that boiling water takes less time. For that, the rate of evaporation, when temperature is high, that time the rate of evaporation will be high. If we will increase the surface area, for example, water kept in a glass or water kept in a like bowl, the water kept in bowl will have more surface area, so it will get evaporate fast. Same way, when we are talking about swiping floor, that time also if we will swipe floor, that time surface area is more, so evaporation will be fast. If we are just spreading our clothes properly outside, that time it will dry up fast. On the other hand, if we will just keep them like this only, then they will take some time to dry out. Next one is when we are talking about increasing wind speed. If water kept under fan gets evaporate easily, on the other hand, normal, if there is no any wind, then water will take its general time for evaporation. Same way for drying out our hair, if we are using hair dryer, that time hair dryer is providing air, wind, so it will help the evaporation to become, or the rate of evaporation will increase. And on the other hand, if you are talking about increasing humidity, if it is a hot sunny day, your clothes will dry out very fast, that means low humidity. On the other hand, if it is like cloudy day or rainy day, that time high amount of humidity is there, so the rate of drying clothes will be very less, that means the rate of evaporation is very less. Next topic is the three temperature scales. We have seen various nowadays various type of thermometers are there, and they use various temperature scales. The first and most important is Celsius. The temperature, room temperature 25-27 degrees Celsius, that is the, and water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Next is Kelvin, and when we are talking about Kelvin, Kelvin is the SI unit of temperature. There is a difference of 273 in between Celsius and Kelvin. And next one is Fahrenheit. When we are talking about, when we used to see visit doctor, that time the doctor used to tell us that you are having 102, 101 type of fever, and normal body temperature 98 degree Fahrenheit. So in your chapter Matter in Our Surrounding, we will use the temperature scales degree Celsius and Kelvin. We can get the questions like convert 27 degrees Celsius to Kelvin to its SI unit. That time what we have to do, we just have to add 273, and as you will add 273 to Celsius scale, that time it can be easily converted to its Kelvin.